before they get to Brooklyn?
The steel chassis, that component is fabricated in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and the facade is fabricated in Minnesota. And then there's materials delivered from all over the country, sheet, rock, wire, those kinds of materials come from around the country, but the actual chassis comes from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
I have a half dozen questions related to affordable housing. And the first one is, at what point will affordable ownership housing be available, specifically co-ops or condos at Atlantic Yards?
Right now, we're here to present the plans for B2. I don't have a date or a timeline for when those units will be available, but as we continue to complete the rollout of Atlantic Yards, we will meet the commitments pertaining to those condos and affordable homeownership units.
Going back to one of the tables that you showed, how many affordable units will be reserved for Band 1?
Click back.
Sure, yeah, actually, you know what, let me just flip back here. Thank you. I believe it's 11 units that are reserved for Band 1, but we'll just go right back to the source. Sorry, I didn't think it would take this long. Here we go. Yes, that's 11 units for Band 1, 62 for Band 2, 36 for Band 3, 36 for Band 4, and 36 for Band 5.
And just as a reminder, all this information will be posted tomorrow morning on your website.
Which is actually the answer to the next question. That's why Greg gets the big bucks. And the answer to the next question, the deadline for completing the application, applications for affordable housing will be distributed 6 months before the temporary certificate of occupancy, and that's anticipated to be around January 2014. I think this next question has to do with household size. What are the capacity levels for studios, 1 bedrooms, and 2 bedrooms?
Those specific details, I think we should hear from HDC, but the guidelines that I am specifically aware of is that 1 or 2 people, depending on the household composition, could fit into a studio. 1 or 2 people, depending on the household composition, could also be accommodated into a 1-bedroom. And 2 bedrooms will be anywhere from a 2 to 3 to a 4-person household. And those determinations are part of the application review process that's undertaken by the city. Each of the applicants is really considered on a case-by-case basis. It really depends on what the relationship of those households are. If it's a parent and a child, if it's a couple, if it's a grandmother and a granddaughter or grandson, it really has to be looked at on a case-by-case basis.
A very specific question, a fairly specific question relative to the chart. How many units will be for a family of 4 making less than $50,000?
I'm not sure I'll be able to do the quick math, but for a family of 4, that would be accommodated into a 2-bedroom unit. So we know that we have a total of 36 2-bedrooms. Maybe that's all on this chart here. Of 36 2-bedrooms. And for those making less than $50,000 a year, that would be partially Band 3, and then also Band 2 and Band 1. So I'm not going to be able to do the math to provide the specific number right here today, but there are units that are set aside to accommodate that, and this chart starts to show that, you know, there's a range of family types and family compositions that will be accommodated in this project.
And one last question related to the affordable housing. What role will CBA signatories play in the oversight of the housing? And it also says and employment.
So our partnership, we mentioned Bertha Lewis and her colleagues earlier, and this was all done in coordination with them and will continue to be in coordination with them. They are CBA signatories, Bertha is.